Hello everyone, I'm Stephen Cox and welcome to Auto Week on Speed Vision. Also in this issue, we'll tell you what Subaru is doing to help WRX owners get even more driving satisfaction. And we have some information on Chevrolet's new Avalanche Sport Utility pickup, which will be in showroom soon. In motorsports, there's news about a split at the Sauber F1 team, and you'll see which driver will take over Chris Neifel's seat in the American Le Mans Series. Then in our Escape Road segment, we'll look back at a British legend, the tiny but mighty Austin Mini Cooper. But first, Mazda probably never dreamed that its Miata would ever become quite so popular. But the Miata has endured, and in fact, it's flourished. Has it become too refined, or is it finally the ultimate affordable roadster? Here's Jeff Sabatini with the story.
Mazda introduced the Miata Roadster as a 1990 model and had an instant hit. That first-generation Miata single-handedly rejuvenated the market for two-seat convertibles in the U.S., and it spawned a whole fleet of imitators. Cars like the Toyota MR2 Spider, BMW Z3, and Porsche Boxster. Since then, over 500,000 Miatas have been sold, and the car itself has evolved. Mazda no longer builds a basic Miata. Gone are the manual crank windows, the plastic rear window, and the whip-style antenna. It's clear that when the Miata was redesigned for the 1999 model year, Mazda was looking carefully at its competition and trying to keep the car viable in the marketplace. Surprisingly enough, just 2 years later, Mazda has made some substantial changes in the Miata. For 2001, it gets a big boost in horsepower, the availability of a 6-speed transmission, some new suspension and wheel options, white gauge faces, a revised interior, and a new front fascia with integrated standard fog lamps. The revised engine is a 1.8-liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder, delivering its peak output of 155 horsepower at 7,000 RPMs and its peak torque of 125 pound-feet at 5,500 RPMs. The boost in horsepower is due to two factors: a new variable valve timing system on the intake cam, and a boost in compression ratio from 9.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. But can you feel it? Sure, the power's there, but I don't really think that the previous Miatas were lacking. For 2001, the chassis has been beefed up with some additional reinforcements, but they seem to do more to isolate the driver from the road than anything else. Regardless, this car handles exceptionally well and can turn a long commute into something to look forward to. Mazda is also offering an optional suspension package this year that includes a strut tower brace, 16-inch wheels with 205/45 R16 tires, a Torsen limited slip differential, and Bilstein shock absorbers. This suspension upgrade gives the car great firm ride, all that much better for sporting driving. Detroit has some pretty awful roads. For that reason, I'm not that pleased with these low-profile tires. But with the big wheel and tire package, you do get bigger brake discs at all four corners. That's one compromise I might be willing to make. Well, I like white gauge faces just fine. Mazda made a crucial mistake. At night, they light up red. Come on, guys, don't make my Miata into a Pontiac. On the other hand, the rest of the interior is wonderful. The seats are more comfortable and more supportive, though the driving position is a bit more upright than it has been in the past. The console, it looks better and it's more ergonomically designed. In fact, I'm even getting more used to the power windows. The new fascia looks great and better complements the more aggressive post-99 styling of the car. And while these larger headlamps and fog lamps may not make the Miata any faster, more light can really be a plus in inclement weather. My biggest complaint with the 2001 Miata might sound rather odd because it concerns the exhaust. The first Miatas were designed to have a nice, raspy, rather loud exhaust note that mimicked an old MG. This Miata's tone is more like a dustbuster, and this is no trivial point. The sound only gets worse when you put the top down, as it encourages you to drive gingerly rather than exploring the upper reaches of the rev counter, and that's where most of the fun of the Miata lies. Don't get me wrong though, I love this car. Most of all because it's fun to drive, but it's also got a decent-sized trunk. It gets up to 28 miles per gallon. Insurance isn't outrageous. Heck, the top goes down. You can have fun just sitting in the driveway. And with a base MSRP of just over $21,000, the price isn't too bad either. The overall verdict? The Miata is still a fun and practical sports car, but I'm not selling my first-generation one yet. Which brings me to my final point. Perhaps the best thing about the Miata is the ownership experience. The Miata boasts one of the largest car clubs in existence, as well as one of the best single-mark websites around. Miata.net is a one-stop resource for every bit of information you could ever possibly want to know about this or any Miata. For those of us who like to tinker, aftermarket support for Miatas has traditionally been excellent. I'd expect this to be no different for the 2001 model, which is a good thing. Maybe I can get this car a better sounding muffler. For Auto Week on Speed Vision, I'm Jeff Sabatini.